Welcome to today's deep dive.
Uh-huh.
We are going to be taking a look at the power of your subconscious mind.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. This is a book that explores, how this kind of like hidden realm within us can shape our lives in so many different ways, from our successes and failures to our health and well-being. So think of this deep dive as kind of like your cheat sheet to understanding and harnessing this incredible power.
I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about this. It's fascinating how the book tackles those universal questions we all ponder, why do some people just effortlessly attract success while others struggle, even though they're seemingly putting in a similar amount of effort? Or why do some heal quickly while others face setbacks?
Yeah, it's like some people have cracked the code to the subconscious mind, while the rest of us are fumbling in the dark. So how do we bridge that gap?
That's precisely what this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, sets out to do. It's not about two separate entities battling for control, but rather a dynamic partnership that we can learn to navigate.
So it's like having a powerful engine under the hood. We need to learn how to drive the car.
Yes, a great analogy. Now, one of the tools the book highlights for tapping into our subconscious is prayer.
Okay.
But not just any prayer. It emphasizes emotionally charged prayer as a direct line to our subconscious.
Okay, so it's about infusing our prayers with genuine feeling and belief.
Yeah.
Not just like reciting words on autopilot.
Exactly.
But how does faith come into play here?
Well, the book stresses that our subconscious operates on the principle of belief.
Okay.
Whatever we believe to be true, our subconscious mind strives to manifest in our lives, regardless of whether it's objectively true or not.
So that's a powerful thought. So it means our beliefs are essentially self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping our reality based on what we feed our subconscious mind.
Exactly. And the book shares a really interesting anecdote. A woman who deeply desired a particular handbag visualized it vividly and affirmed that it would be hers. Later, she met her future husband who, without any knowledge of her visualization, gifted her the exact bag she had imagined.
Hold on, is that a true story?
It's an anecdote from the book.
It's like her subconscious mind somehow orchestrated the whole thing.
Right.
But have you ever wondered if there's a flip side to this?
Yeah.
What happens when our beliefs are rooted in fear or negativity?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
And it leads us to the concept of suggestions, which the book dives into next. These are essentially the messages our conscious mind sends to our subconscious.
So are we talking about affirmations?
Yes.
Or even those pesky negative thoughts that sometimes creep in?
Exactly. Both positive and negative self-talk act as suggestions. And here's the really intriguing part. Our subconscious doesn't critically evaluate these suggestions. It accepts them as commands.
Wow.
Much like a loyal soldier following orders.
So whether we're feeding our subconscious with empowering beliefs or limiting fears, it's diligently working to bring those suggestions to life.
Yes.
It seems like understanding this mechanism is crucial for harnessing the power of our subconscious mind.
Absolutely. To grasp the weight of this, the book uses vivid stories. There's the tale of a seasoned sailor who remains completely calm when a passenger's worrying about a shipwreck.
Okay.
The sailor, with his years of experience, simply dismisses the suggestion because it contradicts his deep-seated beliefs about the sea.
So it's as if his subconscious mind was like, we've weathered worse storms. This is nothing.
Exactly.
But do you have any other examples of how these suggestions play out in real life?
Yeah, there's the story of a doctor who uses the power of suggestion to cure a patient's paralyzed tongue. He presents a thermometer as a special healing device, triggering a response in the patient's subconscious that leads to a remarkable recovery.
Wow.
And conversely, there's a cautionary tale of a man whose health deteriorates after a fortune teller's dire prediction. It highlights the potential harm of negative suggestions, especially when we believe them.
Those examples really paint a vivid picture of how powerful suggestions can be, both positive and negative. It makes you realize that we're constantly bombarded with suggestions, not just from external sources, but also from our own internal dialogue. And it seems our subconscious mind doesn't discriminate. It simply absorbs whatever we feed it.
Precisely. And this brings us to another crucial aspect explored in the book: the role of the subconscious mind in healing.
Now that's something I'm really keen to explore. Tell me more about this healing power.
Sure.
Does the book delve into specific examples?
It does. The book recounts the story of Madame Bière, a woman who defied medical expectations by regaining her sight after being diagnosed with permanent nerve damage. She attributed her recovery to unwavering faith and the power of positive suggestions, believing that these forces activated her subconscious healing potential.
It's like her belief, coupled with those positive suggestions, created a shift in her subconscious mind that ultimately led to her physical healing.
That's the idea the book proposes. Our subconscious mind has a profound influence on our well-being. And it's not just wishful thinking. It's about tapping into a deeper level of healing potential that exists within us.
It's interesting to think how many times we might have limited our own healing capacity by harboring doubts or negative beliefs.
Right.
What if, instead, we embrace the possibility that our minds could play a more active role in our recovery?
Yeah, it's a question worth pondering. And speaking of harnessing the power of our subconscious mind, the book also explores its role in achieving success.
Okay, let's dive into that. How does our subconscious mind contribute to our successes? Or, for that matter, our failures?
Well, the book uses a powerful analogy. It suggests that our thoughts and beliefs serve as the blueprint for our lives. Just as an architect uses a blueprint to construct a building, if we want to create a life of abundance, for example, we need to cultivate a positive mindset towards money and visualize wealth flowing into our lives.
So instead of dwelling on lack or scarcity, we need to reprogram our subconscious mind with beliefs and images of abundance.
Yes.
It's like we're giving our subconscious mind a new set of instructions, a new vision to work with.
Precisely. And to reinforce this new blueprint, the book emphasizes the importance of replacing negative self-talk with affirmations that align with our desired outcomes. It's about consciously feeding our subconscious mind with positive suggestions, nurturing the seeds of success that we want to see blossom in our lives.
Does the book offer any practical examples of how this works, like real life stories of people who have used these techniques to achieve their goals?
There's a compelling story about a young man who dreamed of becoming a doctor but faced financial obstacles. He couldn't afford medical school, but he refused to give up on his dream. Every night, he visualized himself receiving his medical degree, feeling the pride and accomplishment of that moment.
Wow.
He held on to this vision with unwavering faith.
He found a way to make it happen.
Exactly. Through a series of unexpected events and opportunities, he secured the necessary funds and ultimately achieved his goal.
That's incredible. It really highlights the power of visualization and belief. It's like he planted the seed of his dream in his subconscious mind, and it found a way to sprout and grow into reality.
Yeah, the book emphasizes that our subconscious mind is constantly working behind the scenes, seeking ways to manifest the beliefs and images we hold within.
It makes you wonder what else we could achieve if we truly harness the power of our subconscious mind.
Right.
But let's be realistic, not all of us have grand aspirations like becoming a doctor. What about everyday challenges like overcoming fears or breaking bad habits? Can our subconscious mind help us with those too?
Absolutely. The book addresses these common struggles as well. It explains how fear and negative habits often become ingrained in our subconscious mind through repetition.
Right, just like those neural pathways become so well worn that our subconscious mind just defaults to those old patterns.
Yeah.
Even when we consciously want to change.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The book offers a really inspiring story about a man who was terrified of public speaking. He knew he needed to overcome this fear, so he decided to reprogram his subconscious mind.
How did he do that? Did he just force himself to give speeches over and over again?
He used a technique called mental rehearsal. Instead of facing his fear in the real world initially, he repeatedly visualized himself delivering a successful speech, feeling confident and in control. By consistently practicing this mental imagery, he essentially rewired his subconscious mind, replacing the fear with a new sense of self-assurance.
So he was able to overcome his fear by repeatedly experiencing success in his mind, even before he faced the real-life situation.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that this technique can be applied to any fear or negative habit.
Do you have any other example, like breaking a bad habit, for instance?
The book shares the story of a man who successfully quit smoking by replacing his craving with vivid mental images of his family and a healthy, smoke-free life. Consistently focusing on these positive images, he was able to weaken the hold of his addiction and create a new, empowering reality for himself.
It seems like the key takeaway here is that we have more control over our subconscious mind than we often realize. It's not about suppressing our thoughts or feelings. It's about consciously choosing which ones we want to nurture and amplify.
Well said. And ultimately, the book emphasizes that achieving a harmonious and fulfilling life hinges on aligning our conscious and subconscious minds. When these two forces work in unison, free from conflict, we experience a sense of inner peace and alignment that allows us to thrive.
It's like those moments when we're in the flow and everything seems to effortlessly fall into place. Our actions are guided by our deepest desires, and there's a sense of ease and purpose in everything we do.
Exactly. And the book offers some practical advice for cultivating this state of harmony.
I'm all ears. What are some of the key takeaways for aligning our conscious and subconscious minds?
The book suggests incorporating daily practices like meditation or mindfulness to quiet the chatter of the conscious mind and connect with the deeper wisdom of our subconscious.
So it's about creating space for our subconscious mind to speak to us, to reveal its insights and guidance.
Precisely. And beyond quieting the mind, the book also emphasizes the importance of aligning our actions with our subconscious desires. This means engaging in activities that bring us joy and resonate with our core values.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about living in a way that feels authentic and aligned with our true selves.
Exactly. And finally, the book highlights the importance of our social environment. It suggests surrounding ourselves with supportive and inspiring individuals who uplift us and reinforce positive beliefs.
It's like creating a positive feedback loop where our environment nourishes our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind, in turn, empowers us to create a more fulfilling reality.
Well said. It's about recognizing that our inner and outer worlds are interconnected.
It seems like after this deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind, we've uncovered a framework for understanding and working with this hidden realm within us.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that our subconscious mind isn't some mysterious force operating outside of our control.
It's not about passively hoping for things to change, but actively participating in shaping our reality.
Exactly. One of the key takeaways for me is the idea that our subconscious mind is incredibly receptive to suggestions, whether those suggestions come from our own thoughts or the words of others, or even the images we repeatedly expose ourselves to.
It's like we're constantly feeding our subconscious mind with information, and it's dutifully taking notes, shaping our beliefs and habits, and even our physical well-being.
Right. That's why it's so important to be mindful of the messages we're sending to our subconscious. Are we feeding it with doubts and fears, or are we nourishing it with empowering beliefs and positive visualizations?
It's almost like we have a choice. We can either be passive passengers in our own lives, letting our subconscious mind run on autopilot based on old programming, or we can take the wheel and consciously steer it in the direction we want to go.
That's a great analogy, and the book offers a toolbox of techniques for doing just that. From understanding the power of belief and the impact of suggestions, to using visualization, affirmations, and mental rehearsal to reprogram our subconscious mind.
It's not about suppressing those negative thoughts or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging those thoughts and then consciously choosing to focus on a different narrative.
Yes, it's about creating a shift in our internal dialogue. A shift that our subconscious mind can then translate into tangible changes in our lives.
And one of the most powerful examples of this, as the book highlights, is the role of the subconscious mind in healing.
Yeah. We discussed the story of Madame Bier, who regained her sight despite medical pronouncements of permanent nerve damage.
Right.
It raises the question, what if we've been underestimating the healing potential that lies dormant within us?
What if, by simply shifting our beliefs and feeding our subconscious mind with those positive suggestions, we could activate a deeper level of healing that we haven't even tapped into yet?
It's a possibility that warrants further exploration, and it ties into the broader theme of the book, which is that our subconscious mind is not a fixed entity. It's malleable, it adapts, and is constantly evolving in response to the information we feed it.
It's both empowering and a little daunting to realize that we have this incredible capacity to shape our reality, but it also comes with a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If we have the power to influence our thoughts, our beliefs, our habits, and even our physical health, we have responsibility to wield that power wisely.
It makes this journey of understanding and working with our subconscious mind all the more important. It's not just about personal gain, it's about aligning our conscious intentions with our deepest values and using this knowledge to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
And that journey starts with awareness. Becoming aware of the thoughts, the beliefs, and the patterns that are operating beneath the surface, and then consciously choosing which ones we want to nurture and which ones we want to release.
It's a lifelong process of self-discovery. but the rewards are immense. By tapping into the power of our subconscious mind, we can unlock a world of possibilities, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us.
Well said. To our listeners, I encourage you to continue exploring this fascinating realm. Read the book, experiment with the techniques, and most importantly, pay attention to the subtle whispers of your subconscious mind. It has a wealth of wisdom to share if we're willing to listen.
Thank you so much for guiding us through this deep dive. It's been an illuminating exploration, and I hope it sparked a sense of curiosity and empowerment in our listeners. Remember, the power to shape your reality lies within you.
Indeed it does.